You're listening to JW Raw with Eminem.
We are live. We even got some rosary beads. All right, we're live. Welcome. On the show today, we got Kenjon Barner in the house. How cool is that?
Yeah.
So welcome to Albuquerque. Welcome to Jackson Wink. It's not like you've never been here.
Right.
You've been coming here for what? This is your second camp here, I guess.
Third
camp.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you're not really doing. I guess it's a strength and conditioning camp over at
Right.
ZFit. Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Just coming in trying to strengthen my base, get a stronger foundation, get ready to run through some guys, break some tackles.
That's awesome. And then because of all that, you're getting you're stressing yourself out, the muscles, and you discovered Dr. Bo.
Dr. Bo.
How'd you find out with Dr. Bo? What's that all about?
Jordan and John, actually.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
'Cause John trains with Jordan as well. So
course.
me and him were talking one day, and I feel like I had some nagging injuries down at when I was working out. John told me to come see Dr. Bo, and I haven't stopped coming since.
Yeah.
I'll fly out from wherever I am just to see him, whether it's for a day or a couple hours, just to come get that work.
And I can attest to that because I see you here all the time, which is it's a true statement to what Dr. Bo and his team do back there, because we literally get movie stars. I mean, we had a Nick. I can't. We had a supermodel came in.
Yeah,
here.
I seen that
I
on
don't know if you heard about it. Yeah. Of course, he promoted the Victoria's Secret supermodel. She came in one day. She was in the lobby, and she was with her boyfriend and I think boyfriend's mom, and they were in the lobby. And I kind of looked at them and I said, "No, it looks like they're not MMA people. They must be here for Dr. Bo." So I said, "Hey, what are you looking for?" "Well, we're here for Dr. Bo." And I said, "Okay." And she didn't really look like anything.
Mm-hmm.
But we pulled up her Instagram. We came up here. It's like, who is this girl? Taylor Hill.
Yeah.
And 10 million followers. It's like, holy.
She's something.
It's like, holy crap, she is something.
She's
somebody.
Somebody, absolutely.
Man, you got 1 million followers. You're pretty cool.
Yeah.
But she's got 10 times that.
10
it's
times
like,
that.
holy moly.
So you know.
One post, she's got to be worth thousands.
If not more.
Yeah. I don't know how that works, how you get paid for that stuff. But, yeah, she
I would assume with 10 million followers, you have to be worth a lot more than that, though.
we don't have 10 million followers, I don't think, with our entire gym roster. It's numbing.
Yeah.
To see those numbers.
Crazy. Crazy.
But anyway, so she heard about Dr. Bo through, I think her boyfriend told her, "Hey, there's this doctor over there in Albuquerque that does these miracle cures on people, and he's real groundbreaking with his treatment. He's got chisels and hammers and saws and
everything you would think a doctor would have, right?
Yeah, like a witch doctor, more
Right.
like. But he does all that stuff,
Yeah.
and so she flew down from New York and. Of course, did a testimonial about she'll be back, and it just attracts. It just shows that once you've been treated by these guys at Elite OSM, that they come down and they just keep coming back, and you're a testament to that yourself.
Yeah.
Obviously, you got work done, and he fixed you up. And you said, "Man, this guy knows what he's doing."
Yeah.
So
The special thing about their team is they do everything in a very unorthodox way.
yeah,
You know, it's not your typical treatments. Come in, get stem, get ice, get a little massage here and there. Everything they do is completely opposite of that. And I think, to me, from what I've known and from what I've experienced through different treatments, different doctors, is a lot of doctors probably wouldn't agree with what they do.
yeah,
But when you see the results and how fast you get the results, you can, for me, I had a session with Bo. I was having issues with my hamstring. I tore my hamstring, not last year, but the season before. Doing everything back home, going to see different doctors, different massage therapists. I came out here twice, and I believe it was May, maybe closer to June. We were getting ready for mini camp, and I had missed 2 to 3 weeks of practice. So I'm like, I got to do something. Nothing's working here.
yeah.
So I flew out here twice, and I was moving better than I had ever moved throughout the months of January up until June. My coach was like, what did you go do? I said, I went and seen Dr. Bo.
Yeah.
They're like, well, we may need to bring him in. I said, yeah,
Yeah, let's do it. Bring him to us.
Yeah.
So you play, in case people don't know who you are, you currently had played for the Philadelphia Eagles,
right?
Which you just had a Super Bowl visit.
Something little, something light like that. Nothing too major.
Speaking of fans,
yeah, you know,
I don't know how many Instagram,
local.
Yeah, exactly. Just a little thing down at Tingley Beach. So the Super Bowl following is in the billions. It's not. We're talking about 10 million for Taylor. Well, guess what? Super Bowl is billions.
Bigger than that, Taylor.
Yeah.
What's up? Do something with that.
So there were a lot of eyes on you and your team, and obviously both teams. But to be part of that has just got to be such a humbling, fascinating. So many different emotions, and
it is, man. It's.
I mean, playing in the NFL in itself is one thing,
right?
But then to make it to the big game that everybody wants to be in, I mean, you are now about to get that cool ring.
Man, can't wait. I'll wear it for about a week and give it to my dad.
Yeah, that's cool.
But just that experience, man, for me, it wasn't even about the Super Bowl game. It was more so about the journey that I've taken throughout my career.
Makes sense.
To get to that point. You know, you hear a lot of people say, you find the most enjoyment in the journey rather than the destination, because once you get to the destination, then you begin to look back over everything that you've had to overcome, everything that you've went through, everything that your family sacrificed for you to get here. Me and my dad always tell this story, and I'll never forget it because my dad told me I was crazy. He looks at me now and laughs.
We gotta hear it. Yeah.
I was maybe I grew up playing basketball my entire life. I've been playing basketball since I was probably 3-4 years old. From AAU, NJB, game to anything you could think of that had to do with basketball I was playing. And so it was probably my 6th, 7th grade year. I was in junior high school. And my dad was at the gym at the time, called home to get me up for basketball practice, called me, hey, son, get up, get ready for basketball practice. Okay. Didn't get up. Called back again. He asked my mom if I was up. She said no. He's like, I just told this boy to get up.
Oh, shit.
And so, right. And I grew up a little bit different than most people, We had a great life, what I'm saying, but my parents were very strict.
That's the way it should be.
Right. If my parents weren't the way they were, I wouldn't have turned out to be who I am. Yeah. But anyway, back to the story. He gets on the phone with me again, and now he's saying it a different tone.
Using that tone.
Right, using some different words. I just told you, get get up. And so I'm like, all right. He comes home. I'm still not up.
Oh, man.
Right.
Yeah, you're just asking for it.
Yeah, I'm disobeying. I'm doing everything I'm not supposed to do as a kid. So he comes in, opens the door, looks again. Didn't I tell you to get the I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, what are you doing? I was like, well, I don't want to go. He was like, what do you mean you don't want to go? I was like, I don't want to go to basketball practice. Well, you don't have a choice. I said, I quit. I don't want to play basketball anymore.
Oh, wow.
And he looks at me, he stops, and he kind of gathers himself because I can see his wheels are turning. He's losing his mind right now. And he looks at me, he goes, well, what the hell are you going to do? We don't have the money to send you to college. I said, I'm going to the NFL.
Wow.
Now, mind you, I had never played a down of football in my life. The only football I played was in the backyard or in the front yard playing sideline pop with my brothers and all my friends. So he looks at me and he goes, boy, you crazy as hell. Get up and get your ass ready for basketball.
You're barely tall enough for basketball. Now you're talking about football.
Right, in 6th, 7th grade. And so he walks out the room after saying a couple other things to me. He goes to my mom, and I hear him in another room. He tells my mom, your son is crazy. He says he's going to the NFL and doesn't play football. Go talk to him. So my mom, being my mom, who could get me to do anything, comes in the room. Baby, can you please get up and go to basketball practice? You don't have to do it for your dad. Do it for me. And I'm like, all right. So I get up and put my stuff on, but
that planted the seed.
Right. And so fast forward, some years later, not only I'm playing Division I football, well, before that, get a scholarship, playing Division I football, and I get drafted. And my dad kind of looks at me and he asks me the question, how did you know? I said, I just felt it. I'm very spiritual. I have a very strong belief in God.
Good. Yeah.
And so I believe that he instilled that in me even prior to me ever picking up a football to play it. And so when I told my dad that, it wasn't, I was just talking just to talk. It was something that I felt. It was something that I believed. And so to go through all that, you know, have that moment with my dad, with my family, and then look at me like I was absolutely batshit crazy.
and I was going to ask you that. I mean, so when you were lying in bed that day and you had made up your mind, I'm not going to play basketball anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Were you in the back of your mind serious about that, or were you just joking? Were you just like, I'm just going to tell him this just to get him off my back? So you really did have that epiphany at that moment and said,
I'm going to see if I can get my dad on the phone right now.
Yeah, let's hear if this is a true story. we believe you. But
and he'll let you know how serious I was.
So it was like an epiphany that said, I'm just going to play football. And like you said, oh, here we go. Let's talk to Dad.
Yeah, man, no, I was dead serious. Wasn't joking at all. Yeah. Like, I think that was the most serious up to that point that I'd ever been with my dad about anything regarding sports. But to, like I said, to go through, you know, everything that me and my family went through, the journey, the process of, you know, the hard work, the letdowns, you know, the games won, the games lost, you know, different moments, and to finally get there. He'll probably call back. Yeah. But to get there, man, and be at that moment, you know, during the week, you don't really get to take it all in because you're doing media day here, doing media day there, practice here, meetings. So it's like the typical week for me, you know, for the team. And so once we get to the game, it was the day before the game, our Saturday walkthrough. We went to the stadium. We walked through the locker room, and as I'm getting off the bus, I'm walking, I'm looking around, looking at the guys that I'm with. I'm looking at Darren Sproles, I'm looking at LeGarrette Blount, I'm looking at Jay Ajayi, Carson, I'm looking at Nick Foles, I'm looking at Fletcher Cox, Malcolm Jenkins, you know, Chris Long. I'm looking at all these different guys
you've been playing with for all this time.
Yeah, you know, guys that have helped me along the way. You know, mainly Sproles, that's my guy right there. You know, without that guy, I wouldn't have been back.
You bonded with him more than anybody.
Without him, I wouldn't have been back in Philadelphia this year.
Really?
Yeah, that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, that's cool.
But as we're walking through the locker room, we get to the field, I sit there and, you know, you kind of look around and you go, wow.
This is real.
This we are here. You know, you get in the locker room and you see your name, you know, Kenjon Barner, Super Bowl 52, and it's like.
So in the locker room, I mean, do they transform the locker rooms kind of like it's a home locker room? It's green with you got the eagle.
Well, no, everything. I mean, Super Bowl color, so it's kind of like purple.
Oh yeah, okay,
you know, stuff like that.
So they do decorate it for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, everything changes.
But it's legit. It's not like it's a home. Home and away locker room. They go full all out.
Did you keep the nameplates?
Absolutely.
Heck yeah.
So here's a little video of the locker room.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. There's the walkthrough. I think I saw you posted that on Instagram.
Yeah, this is all on Instagram.
Okay.
So, you know, going through there and seeing all that, you're like, bro, we are in the Super Bowl. So that's kind of the first time.
You guys want to see that? You see that video? Pull up his Instagram, Kenjon Barner.
I am Kenjon Barner. Yeah, simple.
I am Kenjon Barner with Instagram, and you have Twitter and all that.
Yeah, my Twitter. I don't even know my Twitter name.
Nobody knows their Twitter name. What is that?
My Twitter is at KBDeuce4. KBDEUCE 4. The number 4.
Go follow him because
blue check mark.
Blue check marks all over the place.
Oh, he's legit.
Legit.
Do they just do that for you, or is that something you have to call your agent and say, hey, give me that blue check mark?
I got it once I got drafted. You know, there's a couple guys that get it in college.
That's funny.
But I got it once I got drafted, and that's when I kind of knew I made it.
I joke with Dr. Bo all the time about that because he's been trying to get that little blue check mark because he's a celebrity, man. And with all these videos he does with the neck cracking and all his cool science stuff, and he's like, I just can't seem to get that blue check mark. And then,
he deserves it. He needs it.
Said, look at this guy. He's got the blue check. I always mess with him. I said, Dad, look at they wanted to give me the blue check mark because I pissed off a celebrity. So you just gotta piss people off or be super cool.
Piss people off or stay on them.
Yeah, there you go.
One or the other.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Yeah. But so the Super Bowl, you walk in that locker room, it's all decorated, and it hits you, and you just go back to that kid back that didn't want to get up for practice.
Yeah.
And this all led me to that.
Yeah, you go through everything, man. You know, I remember telling my family, it's still to this day, oddly enough, you could ponder this. They're still 49er fans, still to this day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Regardless of what team I go to.
Yeah.
they still wear 49er stuff.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, so I'm like, what are you guys doing? But no, you know, I remember watching Super Bowls with my families, with my brothers, my sister, my mom and dad, you know, watching Jerry Rice, watching Terrell Owens, Garrison Hurst, Steve Youngs, J.J. Stokes, you know, all those guys playing in Super Bowls. And immediately after the game, going out and trying to remake those plays, go out and make the catches I seen Jerry Rice make, the runs, Garrison Hurst, you know. Going back to the Denver Broncos, you know, with TD and Elway, you know,
heck yeah,
constantly just reenacting those moments and being there. You know, this is a game that I grew up watching on TV, and to be there, you know.
And these are still teams that you could end up on because as of the end of the Super Bowl, you became a free agent, right? So you're just waiting for that call.
Just waiting for it.
How does that work? So are you still technically an Eagle until?
No, so once the free agency period started, which I believe was March 14th.
Last Wednesday.
Yeah.
So you're just kind of in limbo right now.
Yeah, just waiting on a call. Agents talked to a couple teams here and
to say you're a Philadelphia Eagle is that technically incorrect?
Technically, yeah, it's incorrect.
Yeah. It was the last team you played
with.
But
I'll forever be an Eagle.
Of course.
You know,
but you'll get free beers wherever you go in Philly.
Wherever.
Because you got the Super Bowl.
That's right.
All
you got to do is walk in like this.
Look, the week after the Super Bowl, I don't think I paid for anything.
I can imagine.
I really don't.
That's how the rich get richer.
Right. I don't think I paid for literally. I don't think I paid for gas, food, anything. I didn't pay for a car wash.
Look, I'm buying your meal. You just walk into restaurants.
Yeah, and if it wouldn't even be people like working at the restaurants, or it'd be a fan.
Yeah, you know? I know. It's just crazy.
I went to one little bar and had some food with some friends and never got a check. And so we're sitting there for like 2-3 hours.
God, I know they're gonna bring you a
check.
I mean,
where's the check?
We just had a $500 bar tab.
Right,
man.
and so I asked the lady. I say, "Can we have a check?" She, "Oh yeah, 1 second." She brings out the little book with the check in it, and it's a note. Everybody here just want to thank you for what you did. Thank you for bringing the championship to the city. Your bill's on us. Wow. So it was stuff like that, man, that just makes that moment even special.
I don't know if I would have left yet. I'd still be there taking advantage of that free stuff. No, you got that's a cool story. But those people they've been waiting for a long time, and to be part of that group of guys that. Finally brought them that victory is just got to be the coolest thing.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah. Absolutely amazing, man. It's amazing.
Me being a lifelong Cowboy fan.
That's unfortunate.
Hey, you could be playing for the Cowboys.
Yeah, I could. So let me watch my mouth.
Jerry disregard what he just said there.
Mr. Jones. I didn't mean
he was
that.
Caught up in the moment.
Cowboys are truly America's team.
Yeah, but so it's funny because I go to a Super Bowl party every year with a bunch of buddies, and because I had met you a couple years ago that first time, I said I've kind of got a connection to this. I've got to cheer for the Eagles, man, because I met Kenjon and they're like, no, that's sacrilege, man. What are you, Cowboy fan? What are you talking about? I said, no, look, the Cowboys aren't there. I gotta have some kind of connection to this game, man. And the Patriots, I can't cheer for them all the time. They always win.
I don't think there was anybody besides the people in Massachusetts that wanted the Patriots to win that game.
Exactly. They're the team that everyone loves to hate.
Right.
Exactly. You got to cheer against them. They've been there so much at this point, and that's funny because winners. Like John Jones is a perfect example. He's the GOAT.
Right.
So
no doubt about it.
People love to attack him
at
this
him.
point. Yeah.
They hate him.
Because he's just so good. It's like you can only love him so much. So the haters like, he's not that good.
I was having this conversation with my dad and my mom the other day on the phone, actually. We were talking about, because my dad lost a lot of friends behind me. Guys that were really close to him, they would talk trash behind his back. He's not even that good. He's not going anywhere. But I told him, I said, people want you to be as good as their expectations are for you. And once you exceed their expectations, now you're better than what they thought you were. So now he's not that great. He's not that great. And so once you continue to win, people hate to see people succeed. That makes total sense. People they hate to see people succeed at a level that they can't comprehend.
Yeah.
And I think with John Jones, that's a prime example.
Where John's at.
people hate to see him succeed.
Yeah.
People hate to see Tom Brady succeed.
Yeah.
People hate to see Belichick succeed.
And those names are also affiliated with the GOAT.
Right.
You know, Belichick is going to be the GOAT of coaches.
I mean, you go back, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan,
exactly.
Shaquille O'Neal. People hate to see people succeed at a level that they can't comprehend.
Yeah. And you know, you go back like when I was growing up, Michael Jordan was the man, you know, and kids today they'll never know that feeling that I had when I watched him play, because that's now the LeBron James and these guys, you know, that's how it evolves, you know. It's just sports. It's the cool thing about sports. There's always new up and coming people coming. But John Jones is one of those guys. You won't. It's, I mean, you can pretend that there's a guy being made right now that's going to be the next John Jones, but I just don't see it, man.
You can't.
The way he.
You can't show me a guy that got good at UFC fighting watching YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. It's
you can't show me a guy. There'll never be another John Jones ever.
And obviously you've hung out with him before.
It's my guy.
Yeah, he's a great guy. I was kind of hoping he'd start coming around again, because I have a feeling USADA's gonna be ruling in his favor pretty soon.
I hope they do. You know, me being around, I train in the same gym, and so I see him often. Yeah. Hanging out with him, like getting to know that guy, I genuinely believe that's not something that is even in his DNA. I know how hard that dude works. I watch him work, you know, in an element that he's not comfortable in, the weight room, you know, like that. I watch him grind. I watch him work, and I see how particular he is about the things that he takes. Yeah. You know, that dude would literally give stuff out if, oh, this doesn't look right. Here, you can have it. Yeah. So I genuinely believe that that's not something that he would do, and I honestly think that he needs to take a look at his team.
Yeah, believe us, we all know that, and his manager tells him that, and something, I don't know, something happened. I wish we could pinpoint it.
Twice, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, this is something I would say to him that I will say to him. You know, everybody that you think is for you isn't really for you. Everybody doesn't want to see you do good.
And it's got to be tough, because he comes around and he's got to look around and just wonder. I mean, I hope he doesn't think that when he comes around here, but God, could it be him? Could it be her?
You never know. That's the crazy part about it. I mean, anybody. It almost makes you come to a point to where you begin to break off that trust. You start the mistrust that you have for people starts to increase.
You start believing in conspiracy theories and stuff. If the world is flat and all that stuff.
Kyrie Irving. You seen what happened when you start going through the stuff with LeBron.
Yeah, see?
Flat Earther Society.
Flat Earth, I believe it.
Yeah, but
I'm joking. I really don't.
Hey, let's make you viral.
The Earth is flat.
Let's get some Instagram stuff going on. Just post a picture of the flat Earth.
Right.
Say, this is what I believe in.
Right.
If you don't go over the edge, man, it's gonna hurt.
No, but they'll like you were saying, there'll never be another John Jones.
Nah, there can't be
a guy that can dominate in the way that he does. You know, with the style, the grace. Yeah. You know, with the technique. Never.
And it's funny, because we know him on a personal level. Obviously, we see him almost daily when he's in training, and he's such a nice guy. He's Diego Sanchez. I mean, you know about Diego Sanchez and the Shermanator, how they've bonded. And John Jones is the same type of guy, where he's always the first guy to come in, and he'll see a new face in the gym.
Walk up to you and speak.
And he will walk up to them and introduce himself. I mean, they look at him like, oh, wait,
you're John Jones.
You're John Jones. You're just saying hi to me, and it's just to John. He's just being himself.
That's their family. His brothers are the same way.
Yeah,
his brothers are exactly the same.
And they've both been in the gym, and they were like teddy bears. You know, they're just this
teddy bears till you get them in their element.
Well, that I wouldn't want to see.
Yeah, once you get them, you know, in there,
get them in their
field of expertise,
get them on that training field.
It's different animals.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah.
How many times did you play against the Jones brothers?
I think I've played Chandler twice. I definitely played him last year. Like, me and John were having this conversation in the gym the other day. He's goofy. super goofy. So we're laughing in between the play, joking, talking. But as soon as we lined up, as soon as the referee blew that whistle, the smile went away.
Yeah,
what just happened here? You know, but they completely turn into different guys. But man, that family is special.
I mean, we were all devastated when we got the news about his mom. I mean, because knowing how close that family is, and we're part of that family here, and we were actually doing we were right in the middle of a big promo video for UFC 214, and we were on day 2. We were on day 2 of filming it when John called me and he said, "Mark, my mom just passed away," and he was crying, and he didn't say what was. I said, "John, what's wrong? Is everything all right?" You know, I'm thinking the worst. He crashed because I was on the way to pick him up, and for the next day for the shoot that day, and he was just so devastated, and obviously, so it just his brothers were on the phone, and it was just it was a tough time, and then there was just so many pressures going on at that moment with that big fight coming up, that his mom passing, you know, all the negative stuff that was going on with USADA, and I don't know how you guys deal with that pressure. I mean, to get to the level that you athletes are, at the super highest level that you are, and to deal with all the personal things that come in your life, it's got to be tough.
It is, and people tend to forget that we're actual people.
Humans, exactly.
You know, they expect everything to be peaches and roses, blue skies and sunshine all the time for us. And they forget the fact that we are human just like everybody else. The only thing that separates us from the next man, the next woman, is our job description.
Yep. Bank accounts.
Can you imagine, like, your trolls online that they're bankers or accountants? You go to their job and you're like, "Man, you didn't count that right. You didn't count that right."
Yeah. I know you're using some kind of equipment to count that wrong.
Right.
You're using steroids.
Just constantly
something's going on. Yeah.
Bother them about something.
Yeah. And how do you counter it? I mean, you ignore it. John's funny because every once in a while, he's kind of like Dana White. He'll go attack a random troll.
I'm the same way, because my thing is this: at the end of the day, we're human.
Yeah. Course.
So you can only take so much, and there's certain things that I just will not allow to be said and me to look over.
Do people attack you, really?
Absolutely.
Really, that's interesting,
man.
They blame you for losses and stuff.
Anything and everything.
Man, if you would have ran that ball back, man, we would have run.
I had a. Speaking of that, we're out my family down at the Super Bowl, and a lady. I'm walking through the mall, walking my parents to their Uber. Yeah. And a lady decides that she wants to comment on me being there with my family.
Like in person or?
No, on Instagram. I can't remember the comment she made, but it was something along the lines of, "Oh, this isn't a family vacation. You need to stop hanging out with your family," basically.
Oh, this was before the game.
Yeah.
Oh, holy crap.
and focus on the game. One thing I don't,
Was she Eagles HR or something?
I don't know. I don't know who she was, but I guarantee she won't be responding or comment on any more of my pictures.
Did you block her and delete?
No. I didn't block her. Yeah. But I went at her neck. You know what I'm saying? One thing I don't play about my family.
Yeah, of course. So you tell my family they can't hang out with me? I can't hang out with them? That's not going to happen.
You know, there's very few things that, that'll push me to another level. And my family is one of them. Yeah. You know, anything concerning my family. So it's stuff like that.
It says a lot about you.
Stuff like that, people say stuff about, and I kind of lose my cool a little bit.
You got to be protective of your family, because a lot of people, they won't.
Right.
They won't protect.
No,
they won't protect their family. That's some athletes. They've just kind of got into their zone where they're all about themselves, and they get themselves in trouble. You know, you got to have that foundation. Yeah, your parents are the ones that pushed you, guided you in the right direction. There were days, like you said, you didn't even want to get out of bed, and they said, "You get out of bed."
Man, my brothers and my sister. Without that nucleus, I wouldn't be where I am. I wouldn't be who I am. My brothers would literally give me clothes off their back if I said I liked anything they had on. Oh, that's a nice shirt, bro. You want it? Here, take it. You know, my sister's been there for me every single day of my life. You know, when my parents were out.
She an older sister?
Yeah, I'm the youngest.
There you go. Oh, no wonder. See, there you go.
Yeah, so, you know, when my parents were out working late, you know, trying to provide for us, my sister raised me and my brothers, you know, and my brothers raised me. So I tell people all the time, you know, that I don't love my family. I'm in love with my family. Yeah. I'm in love with my brothers and my sister, my mother and my father. And like I said, I don't play about my family.
So like the Jones family, going back to them, they're obviously they got some genetics with the three brothers, in two in the NFL and one UFC. Do you have the same genetic makeup? Are your brothers?
We do have the same genetic makeup, but my brothers were idiots and wanted to choose different stuff.
See, I'm always fascinated by that.
Yeah, man. So I will tell people all the time, I'm the least athletic person in my family when it came to my brothers. All of my brothers were better than me. And whether it was baseball, basketball, or football, I had two brothers who I believe were way better than me at football. I have one brother who was way better than me at basketball, who had literally every Division I basketball coach knocking on our door. I had my oldest brother could throw a baseball like you've never seen before.
Could have been in the MLB right now.
Could have went to, you know, college for that, eventually to pros for that. Yeah. And both my brothers for football could have went to college and potentially went on further than that, but
they just didn't have that same light bulb go off, I guess, that you did in bed that day. It's just,
and that's why they stayed on me so much.
Yeah, well, that's good because they pushed you. They knew you had a drive that they couldn't replicate, or something happened, and so then they pushed you.
Right.
So, well, this is his dream. We're going to do everything in our power to make that happen for you. And they lived their life through you, and they're living it right now, because I can imagine your family was some of the proudest family in that the stands that day.
Absolutely.
Is there a special section that players' families sit in, or is it just
we have our own section?
So the Eagles section. So it's not like you're sitting right next to the Patriots.
Bro, we're kind of separated.
So there's no fights.
No,
your dad didn't have to get in a position where he's going to fight some.
No, nothing like that. But back to the family, I have a cousin who played in the NBA for 16, 17 years.
Crap.
Andre Miller. He played for years.
So it's genetics. This is the craziest thing. It's some people, some families just have that makeup, and then others don't. You know, it's just a fascinating thing about science, I guess, that some people are just built a certain way and use their bodies a different way, but other people use their minds a different way. It just depends on which route you want to take. You know, you got to have that drive. Some have the drive, some don't.
Got to have the drive, and you got to be willing to listen.
Yep.
You know. Yeah. Got to be willing to fall in line and do things the right way.
So your parents, are they still working, or are they retired?
Still working. I don't. Even if I tried to retire, my mom, she would sit down. There's no question about it. My mom would sit down,
and she should.
You know, hopefully sometime soon we'll get that done. But my dad, I don't ever see him.
He just likes
sitting
to work.
down. Yeah, my dad. I'm built like my dad. My dad constantly is on the move, constantly is on the go, constantly figuring out how to make monies in a different way, constantly grinding. My dad gets up. My dad's 62 years old. Still gets up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Good for him.
Go to work. He has his own little painting company. Goes out there.
Oh wow.
Paints.
It's tough work.
Yeah, at 62.
That's one of the jobs I hate. Painting my house or painting a fence. So, you know, I don't want to paint nothing.
Love to do it.
Is he self-employed?
Self-employed.
So what's the name of his
self-employed? Just Gary Barner. Gary
Barner Painting.
Yeah, Gary Barner Painting down there in the Inland Empire, Marina Valley. Shout out to my dad. Love you.
Yeah, we love you too, man. That's we're hearing all kinds of cool stories about you now at this point.
My guy. That's my best friend.
That's why he's getting that ring.
Right. My dad literally gets everything.
So do they size all you guys for that ring, or how does that work? Is it like a one size fits all, or and you just give it to my dad's size?
Yeah, well, no, I got his size for me, but I give him everything. My dad has every bowl ring, every bowl game watch, every trophy, every ribbon, every medal, picture, magazine, football. I had to fight my dad about bringing footballs out here to train with, because I give him everything, but I give my dad everything, man. everything.
So he manages all that stuff. He keeps
he keeps it locked up in a safe. You know, my dad's crazy about that stuff. Yeah, stuff that go ahead.
Oh, you gotta do like a 1980s, 1990s commercial for your dad. Hi, I'm a Super Bowl champ, and if you need painting,
come on.
There you go.
Call Gary Barner.
Exactly. Barner's the man.
He is.
He'll paint your barn. He'll paint anything.
Paint anything. You need something stained, he can do it. My dad is a jack of all trades.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's just, and I guess that's where you get your work ethic from.
Absolutely.
Like you said, I mean, it's just you're not going to be a bum. You're always going to be working. They instilled hard work in you. And
that's all I seen my mom and my dad do, work.
Yeah.
So that's all I know.
I think that helps. You know, a lot of youth today, they're I don't know, they just don't get it. I don't know. They don't pay attention. They don't appreciate what they have. They don't understand.
I think it's a lack of drive. Tell you the truth.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
I think it's a lack of drive.
People blaming video games, the TV. It is. I think it does come down to drive. I mean, it's a personal choice.
Absolutely.
Nobody wants to blame themselves.
I listen to the same music everyone else listens to. I would play the same video games.
And you're not a killer. You're not a gangster.
Not a killer, not a thug, not a gangster, not a thief, not any of that. Life is about making choices.
Yeah.
That's all. It's simple. Make the choice.
And John got me into reggae music.
Yeah,
man, I listen to that stuff. You can always tell. Yeah, you can always tell when he's training because he cranks up that reggae stuff, and it's funny. I was on my Amazon Prime subscription or whatever, and it said Jamaican sound. I said, hey, I'm gonna listen to this. There's just something soothing about it. This is cool.
It's just a vibe.
It's relaxing. Yeah,
it's a vibe to it.
No wonder John listens to this all the time.
Yeah,
that's his training music.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably see it. He probably cranks that stuff up, takes over.
John listens to everything just like I do.
Yeah.
You know, he's all over the place with his music.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a good guy. Come back, John. Come back so we can give you a hard time. You can walk around in your underwear and flash us and do all this stupid stuff. He's a clown.
He is.
I mean, I don't know if he does the same thing he does over here that he does at Zia. But
he definitely wears small shorts.
Yeah,
I will say that. Right, maybe a little bit further back than that.
At least here, there's women around. At least here, there's women around.
There's women at the gym.
Oh, okay.
He comes in.
He just doesn't care.
No, not at all. Not at all.
It's good to be John.
Not at all.
And he could have been anything he wanted to be either. I mean, he could have been football. Yeah,
I tell him all the time, man. Just come out and try out for the team.
Yeah, just do a walk on.
Yeah, just come play. Come play. I know you can, any position. Come play. I don't know about his catching ability, but I could definitely see him at DN.
Yeah, he can't catch.
He can't catch?
No, I don't know. He can't catch a hit.
Oh no,
nobody ever hits him.
Right. You know, play DN, go play receiver, tight end.
Yeah,
I'd put him at safety just to see him hit somebody.
Yeah,
just to see him run down. Yeah, just run downhill and smack somebody.
You could beat him in a race, though.
Absolutely, no question about it. No question about it.
Your 40 is what 4.2 is said?
No, not 4.2. I wish.
What?
Blazing. Pro day I ran a 4.3.
4.3.
Yeah.
Oh, we're off by
a tenth of a second.
Yeah. Only. That makes a difference.
Major difference.
Really.
Major difference.
It was enough to get you. It was enough to get you signed to a team. I mean, that's those numbers matter.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Those numbers are crucial.
So you played in college for
University of Oregon.
Oregon Ducks.
Go Ducks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Played there, man, from 2008 to 2012-13 season. Some of the best years of my life. Funnest years of my life. Made some of my closest friends from that time period.
Just because college is supposed to be fun.
Man, college was amazing. College was too much fun almost.
How is that possible?
It's simply almost getting kicked out of college.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah, you do have some
that's not cool.
You do have stories.
I got a lot of stories, man.
That's awesome.
I got a lot of stories, man. College was a blast.
Yeah,
it was a blast. It was
just a heartbreaker out there too, probably.
No comment. No comment.
Statute of limitations.
Yeah. Let's not. We don't want no hidden secret tape showing up down the road. Don't run for office.
Nah, you don't got to worry about that.
Just to keep politics in the back burner, man. Just keep
college. College was a ball.
Just retire from football.
Yeah,
because this is a good retirement.
Man.
I mean, you're just starting. We're talking about retirement.
Right.
I mean, I'm telling you, it seems like it's you never. The only thing that can take you down, I guess, is an injury, and that's the gamble with this sport.
Yeah.
It's the craziest thing. Yeah, we got real wood here. So.
Yeah, nice wood table.
And Dr. Bo.
Yeah, Dr. Bo keep me upright.
Definitely keep Dr. Bo.
Yeah, Dr. Bo keep me upright.
When you're rich enough to buy a plane, your own plane, you can just fly over here on a whim.
Yeah.
Or use those frequent flyer miles.
Yeah.
Or Dr. Bo, he travels all the time.
Yeah, Bo came. He was out in when I was with the Chargers. He was there. He came. Was that during training camp? He came. Had to be.
All you got to do is give him a ticket, and he'll fly his own way over there, and it's kind of a little good way to get him out there.
Yeah,
he loves it. He loves being out. He's a big sports guy himself. I mean, he played college football here for our wonderful Lobos. Go Lobos.
We'll be. I had a field day against them when we played them.
I was about to say, did you ever play the Lobos?
I had a field. No. This was regular season.
Oh yeah.
It was like the first game of the season.
What were you playing? What position were you playing back?
Running back.
Okay.
I had an absolute field day against them. Go Lobos. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah. Was it here in Albuquerque or was it up in Oregon?
Up in Oregon.
Oh,
up in Oregon.
So you just destroyed us.
Absolute field day. I didn't play in the second half, so that should tell you what kind of game it was.
Took you out.
I think we ended up blowing them out.
Oh boy,
72-0.
There we go.
No way.
Right.
Yeah.
I just wanted someone else to say that.
17 carries.
147
yards
in the first half.
Wow.
And
he
went.
Go ahead.
4 touchdowns.
Was it 4 or 5?
Well,
no,
I had on special teams,
I had 4 rushing touchdowns and a receiving touchdown.
Holy crap.
Yeah, here it is.
In the first half.
Man, that's your highlight video in that one game.
One game. Thank you, Lobos. You got me drafted. Oh
man.
You got him on the back.
You got me drafted. I appreciate
Lobos,
you guys.
Man. Everyone's a Lobo. It's apparently not. Man.
Yeah.
Man, that's
yeah, field day.
Longest run was 41 yards.
Field day, man.
If Urlacher was playing, it would have changed everything. He's still a Lobo.
No, wouldn't have changed. We still would have blew him out.
1 reception for 60 yards for the touchdown.
Right. Yeah. Field day. Absolute field day.
Man, I'm kind of depressed I brought that up now.
Yeah, I walk on that campus and I feel like I own it.
Yeah, we humiliated you guys.
Yeah.
Wow. The golden pride.
Yeah, man, it was embarrassing.
You been to Frontier?
Frontier.
The Frontier restaurant with the cinnamon roll things?
No, but now you say cinnamon rolls, I'm interested.
Oh, man, they got these cinnamon rolls like the size of they're
like the big
giant tortilla or something. I mean, you've seen tortilla. This thing is like the most buttery, sugary, evil thing on the planet, but it's for
$2.
Yeah.
Only it can be healthy. $2 it can be healthy.
Yeah.
I took the kids there this weekend, and we got a whole bunch of.
And it's called Frontier.
Yeah, it's called Frontier. It's right on Central.
I will be doing that. I have to wait till the end of the week once I get my work in.
It's right across the street from the UNM campus.
Okay.
And so it's decorated with all the Urlacher jerseys and all the famous logos.
I'll be happy to walk in there.
So that's what I was going to say. You got to go in there and strike a pose.
I'll be happy to walk in there.
Go introduce yourself to the owner and say, hey, I know you're big Lobo fans, but I made a fool of you guys.
Go Ducks! Yeah, girls basketball team doing their thing in the tournament right now.
Shout out to them. Yeah, at WNIT. Yeah, they're playing tonight. Is it?
Oh, the girls played last night. They're
back at
they're in the March Madness.
They're at Johnson Gym. I think they're back at the pit. But yeah, well, basketball, we're still doing good.
Yeah, you guys always been good in basketball.
Yeah, we try.
Yeah, you always been good at basketball. I won't say nothing about that.
You're not going to argue with that one.
That was my dad.
Oh, here we go.
Hey.
Hey, man, you call me?
Yeah, you're on the air.
Huh?
You're on the air. You're on the radio. You're live on a podcast right now.
Okay.
No, so I called you because we were talking about football. I was telling them that story when you called me crazy and told me I was out of my mind for telling you.
we didn't believe that story.
They wanted to know if I was serious about it or if I was joking.
Hold the phone up to the mic so we can hear.
No, what? How you doing? I'm Jerry Barner.
Hello, Jerry Barner. I'm Mark Aragon, and we're doing a podcast over here in Albuquerque at the Jackson Wink MMA Academy, where Dr. Bo hangs out. And I'm sure Kenjon's told you all about Dr. Bo, but Dr. Bo's office is in our gym. So the gym that John Jones works out, and Holly Holm, and all these famous MMA people. So we got him on our podcast. We had to take advantage of this.
No, what happened was, he's telling you exactly the truth. What happened, Kenjon was a really good basketball player, and he played the AAU ball for a club called the Tar Heels. And so the season would start in November. And so I went upstairs, and I told him, I said, son, you have to get up. It's season start today. You got to come on. We got to go. And I went back downstairs to do some things, and I went back upstairs, and he wasn't dressed. I said, didn't I tell you to get dressed? He said, I don't want to play basketball anymore. I said, what do you mean you don't want to play basketball? I said, son, listen, I don't have the money to pay your way through college. I said, you could probably get a scholarship in basketball. I said, what are you going to do, man? He said, I'm going to the NFL. I said, I'm going to get your mother because you play basketball and you're telling me you're going to the NFL. You're crazy.
Yeah.
So I go downstairs and I tell his mom, I said, I want you to go upstairs and talk to that crazy boy. He's telling me he's going to the NFL and he played basketball. So she said, hold on.
Love it.
And then she went upstairs and she talked to him a while. She came back down. She said, he ready. And so when they won the Super Bowl, we were on the field. And I said, Doogie, you told me you were going to the NFL. He said, I told you, Daddy. I told you I was going.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
What a way to make that dream come true. Yeah, that's just the story that he told us, other than the part where you were on the field. But that's the best. That's the icing on the cake, as they say right there.
Yeah, man. That was. I always say this to him and to my mother. Me and my mother talk about him a lot, and I always tell my mother, I said, Mama, you know what's crazy to me? I said, Doogie ran his way into a lifestyle. Literally ran his way into what he's doing. She says, Gary, Doogie had a conversation with God about football, and it was only between him and God.
Yep, and that's what happened in that bed that day.
That's what happened. He always wanted to play football. His mom always said he was too little. He only played football once in Little League, with Jude All-American. Played 1 year. And he played receiver, and he played corner. And he caught a touchdown pass and had an interception every single game.
He's a natural.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just calling you for that story.
Yeah, and you confirmed that story, and I appreciate you calling back and sharing that on the air, sir. That was awesome.
What's he painting?
Hey, we hear you're an entrepreneur out there with a painting business.
I was painting when you called me.
We figured that. What are you painting? What are you painting right now?
I'm over in the spaghetti factory in Fullerton doing some staining a lot of wood. They have a lot of beautiful wood in there.
Yeah, the spaghetti factory. They used to have. They've never had one in Albuquerque, but I went to one in Denver. I don't know if it's still there or not. If it's the same chain, but
still there.
That's the one with the big. They got the big. It's huge. The place is huge.
Yeah, it's still in Denver.
Oh, okay. So it's the same. Okay, gotcha.
Daddy, give him the name of your company.
Give us the name of your business. Give us a plug of your business. Yeah.
Oh, the name of my company is W. Barner Painting and Handyman Service.
Yeah, I was completely off.
W. Barner. All right, and handyman service. So you're not just the painter. You'll do it all. You'll fix the water heater or the dishwasher or whatever the heck needs to be fixed.
A little bit. I don't do it all.
Jack of all trades. He's being modest. My dad's a jack of all trades.
You're being humble.
He's being humble. He's being modest. Don't worry. I'll be cocky for him. He's a jack of all trades, okay?
Yeah, that's what happens when some breaks in the house. You got to fix it yourself
We
you're
never
rich.
had a handyman in the house. My dad fixed everything. He's being modest.
That's awesome.
All right, Daddy. Well, we'll call you later.
Sir, very nice to.
You.
It's a
pleasure. Take care.
Yeah, so thank you, sir, for joining us for that, and we'll see you around.
Okay, take care.
Take care,
right,
sir.
love you.
Bye.
Love you, son.
All right.
That's awesome.
My dad.
He did. He said that story exactly the way you said it. except for the part about being on the field and reliving that whole moment. That is literally the icing on the cake, because you have that connection and that story, and there you were just a few weeks ago on that field, and it all came full circle. That decision that day, and it's something that you will talk about for the rest of your life.
For the rest of my life.
How cool is that, man? I'm happy for you.
A lot of fun, brother.
It's
a lot of fun.
It's got to be good to be you right now. So, you will get signed by somebody any day now. I'm thinking probably there's got to be your manager, I guess, is
agent.
Okay, so he's been talking to you, saying, hey, I'm looking.
Yeah, but if not, man, I mean, like, I absolutely believe I'll get picked up, but I'm fine with whatever. I've come to a point where I don't worry about the things that I can't control.
Well, you went to college,
right? Got a degree in criminology,
and criminology of all things. What kind of made you go that way?
I've always been like a huge CSI guy, Criminal Minds. All these.
How cool is that, man?
I've always been into stuff like that. And so
I did that job for 27 years.
How'd you like it?
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah. So I've always been intrigued by that stuff, and so that's what caused me to go and get my degree in that field. So
the reason,
go ahead.
The reason I liked it. Sorry to interrupt you.
You're right.
The reason I liked it is because I'm not the kind of person that likes to do the same thing
over and over again.
And with police work, you're seeing something different every single day. You're seeing a different person. In small towns, you're dealing with the same bad guys all the time, but we're not a small town, so we're dealing with different people all the time, and so crimes happen in all different ways and all different manners, and trying to put it all back together and try to solve it and figure out, the blood spatter went this way, so he was standing here and he was kind of doing this action, it's a fascinating science.
That's been my thing.
Yeah, and the psychology of it and all that. So you
really
got that background. So.
Yeah, so that's been just. I feel like anything I do after sports has to be adrenaline based. I have to something that intrigues
Albuquerque
me.
Police Department's hired.
Yeah. Maybe
we're 400 short.
But, I got a couple things going outside of
$5,000 sign-on bonus.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
I think we can give you an extra $5. We'll give you an extra $5 just because you won the Super Bowl.
Imagine him on a foot chase. He would blow right by them.
Yeah, where are you going? Where are you going?
Can you run a 4.3?
All right, where are you going? I'm ready. I'm ready right now. I'm ready right now. No, but like I was saying, man. We got a couple things going on outside of football. I've made some investments. I have a clothing company.
Good.
With me and my friends.
I did see the Haters.
Hated Apparel.
Hated.
We have that going. You can check us out on Instagram at hated_apparel, or we have a website that's up.
Your hat is the logo.
Yeah, shirt.
Yeah.
We got everything going.
I made fun on one of your posts. Actually, I didn't know that you made a post about it, and I said, "Man, that's the apparel I need to wear." Hated photographer.
Why not? Why not? I'm gonna get you some.
I became the most hated photographer after the Cyborg incident.
Yeah, I'm gonna get you some.
And they verified my Twitter because of it.
There we go.
So much hate.
There we go. Hey, there we go.
So it all works out.
It all works out, man. So yeah, we got some things going outside of ball, but
being an entrepreneur yourself, so then that's cool. So you got college to fall back on.
Got college to fall back on. Got the clothing line going. A couple other things that we're doing, man. So, I'm ready. But I got a lot left in me.
Oh yeah, you do. Yeah, so, we're talking like it's over. But
oh no, not over at all. It's just the beginning.
How old are you?
28.
Oh yeah, it's not like
we got time.
So much time.
So
you got 10 years left.
Sheesh. Sheesh, 10. Whew. Yeah, it's a long time. I take it.
When you take a hit, I mean, people compare this all the time. When you take a hit, I mean, CTE is a big thing, obviously, in NFL and MMA the same. Boxing. When you take a hit, running a ball back, these guys aren't just trying to take you down.
No, they're trying to injure Knight.
They are definitely trying to kill you.
They're trying to injure Knight. The kicker from New England. Yeah. He tried to end me.
Did he?
Yes.
That's because you were taking his ball back.
It's not my fault that he missed 3 field goals.
Yeah.
What are you mad at me for? No,
he's so awesome.
But no, they
I was happy for you.
They're trying to take your head off.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But what I was getting at basically is, I mean, do you think an MMA hit is worse than
it's so funny you asked that.
A football player getting hit, or vice versa?
Me and Jody were just having this conversation.
Jody Escobar?
Yeah, we were just having this conversation the other day at the gym.
One of our fighters, yeah.
Literally, just the other day, last week, we're having this conversation.
So what was the consensus?
She thinks football is worse. I think MMA is worse. But in a sense, they're somewhat the same, because in football, a lot of the hits, they may look hard, but they don't hurt. You know, a lot of the hits are normal hits. You just go down. And same thing in fighting. You know, a lot of the hits, you look like, oh, that hurt, but they're glancing blows. And so they're somewhat similar. But I said fighting has to be worse, because how, you know, the impact of the fight that you endure, you know, at the end of that fight, not all fights, but a lot of them, you can't get back and fight next week. You can't get back and fight 2 weeks from then, 3 weeks from then. You have to take a longer period of time to recover and get back.
Yeah.
Whereas in football, yeah, we're hitting a lot more. You know, we have a 17-week season plus the playoffs. Training camp is miserable where you're hitting. But during the regular season, we aren't hitting Monday through Saturday. You know, we'll thud up. Then, obviously, we're live on Sundays. Now, the hits can be
devastating.
Yeah, a lot more devastating when we're running full speed at each other.
And you're also protected by a lot of pads.
Right.
Where is there a reason? Is the force so much more that you need those pads, or you'll be dead?
Look, rugby players.
Yeah, well, those guys don't wear pads
at all. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? But I got where Jody was coming from. You know, the impact. You know, getting tackled, your head jolting against the ground. I get all that, but I still think fighting is worth. You're getting kicked in the face for a living. You're getting punched in the face for a living. Elbows thrown at your face for a living. So, like I said, not every fight. I mean, there's some fights that end in the first round. But for the guy that loses that fight that ends in the first round, you took a beating probably.
You took a hit, yeah.
Or you took a hit that put you out.
One of our fighters this weekend on our amateur team, he was knocked out in like 40, 50 seconds, something like that. With one of those, and it's rough because they train so hard for that one moment and to get knocked out with something with so much force that takes you out. It's got to be just the craziest thing. But I mean, you see football players go through the same thing where they get hit so hard they don't get up right away.
Right.
They lay there for a little while.
Lay down,
and it's the same feeling as being knocked out. I'm sure you wake up and you're like, what the hell just happened to me? Where am I?
Absolutely.
You know.
So I mean, we settled on football was worse.
You agreed to disagree.
We'll say that. I can see it. Like I said, I can see it just because
you're being humble, like your dad. Then
no.
You're taking Jody's side. You're saying, all right,
I'm not taking her side, but I have an open mind about it, you know, and I can definitely see that because we're doing a lot more over a longer period of time, a lot more hitting, a lot more helmet to helmet contact. Like I said, in practices we don't hit. You know, some teams do, where it's full contact.
That's a coach decision, or
coach's decision. So there is that on some teams, but you know where I've been, it hasn't been that, and so I'm like, no, you're a fighter. Like,
yeah, you're always going hard.
I'm sure by the end of your fight, you have some sort of concussion.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so from that standpoint of, you know, the length of our season, okay, I'll say football.
Yeah.
Well.
There you go. The debate continues because it's
you guys tell us what you think
until there's machines. You got to do a poll about that. The Twitter poll.
Yeah,
football or MMA.
I'll throw that up. I also have one. Is it legit when a pro athlete, such as you, has your dad call in to finish the media interview? I said one of the choices was Mr. Gary freaking Barner. That's getting 29%.
Okay.
43% is like he's legit. That's what was one of the answers, and then the other one was yes with an exclamation point.
We'll take them all.
Yeah, they're all good. It's all respect.
Take them all. Yeah, we'll take them all.
It's all respect. Yeah. That's cool. That was a great story that we got to share, and you know, we appreciate you coming in today. was kind of a whim. We saw you there a couple days ago with Dr. Bo, and I kind of approached you about it, but yeah, you didn't even hesitate, and we appreciate
not at all,
that.
Man. You've been good to me since I've been here. So anytime, any place.
We take care of anyone that's part of this team that comes in. You come through these doors, you're part of a family, and we all look out for each other, and that's just the way we are. And,
I appreciate that, man.
Anytime you're in Albuquerque, look us up. I mean, you don't even have to. We're here for you. Whatever you need, and we will be following your career close. I don't know what team I'll be rooting for next time, but when I'm not rooting for the Cowboys, but that's why I need you to go to the Cowboys.
So you could be a full fan.
It would be
full fan, complete fan,
the perfect circle. It's not like the fantasy football guys, man. I can't keep track of that stuff. It blows my mind. I mean, I got so many buddies that do the fantasy football league, and they're Cowboy fans or Denver fans, but they own players from all these. It seems so confusing to me. I just don't get it.
I don't get the fantasy thing.
It's an interesting thing.
It is.
I would want you when you played University of New Mexico. That was like 45 points.
I want you. Yeah, I want you on my team when you're playing the Lobos.
You want anybody when they play the Lobos?
Oh man!
No disrespect.
On that note, everyone is a Lobo except for Kenjon. Kenjon Barner is not a Lobo. Get that through your heads, people.
Yeah, no. I don't mean no harm by that. Go Lobos.
I know you do.
Go
but thanks for spending some time with us, and tell your dad definitely appreciate him calling back and giving us that story. That was awesome. We will definitely be watching you closely, and go
whoever I'm with.
Go somebody.
Yeah, get you guys a better gift than what Cyborg gave you. That's for sure.
There's a long story with that, but I guess that's all we deserve around here. Yeah.
Nah, I'll get you something better than this.
Chinese. Well, look what the Chinese give us. They give us Chinese candy that you can only get in China.
Have you ate any of that?
Yeah.
Is it good?
It's actually a vanilla. Is it? Yeah. It's some kind of a vanilla with like wax paper around it. And Michelle Watterson was actually telling us because it's a big thing in the Philippines and the Asian countries.
Gotcha.
It's like the mega candy of Asian countries.
Gotcha.
So when they brought it, we're like, what the hell is this? But apparently it's famous in Asian countries. But yeah, so we get random gifts. I mean, Holly bobblehead. Yeah. How cool is that? We got some Polish vodka. We got a snake from Japan that we partake in every once in a while.
I see. I
see. Some random gloves. John Jones. We got hand wraps.
Okay.
So yeah, we have fun around here. So yeah, bring us something. Bring us something cool, and we'd love you forever anyway. But thank you. Thanks for joining us, and guys, go visit our sponsor, Fireteam Fit. Great website for weightlifting stuff, belts and weightlifting products. Great guys. Ethan, great owner of the place. Former special forces guy, Marine. Badass. Yes, Semper Fi. He's doing good for the team and doing good for the weightlifters around the world, making sure that they are properly equipped with the equipment they need to do their big heavy stuff. So
yeah, it's not the old 1980s weight belt.
The big giant leather straps that they used to use back in the day. It's some kind of composite material with Kevlar or something. I don't know. It's cool stuff. But go check out that website, Team Fire Fit, is it?
Fireteam Fit.
Fireteam Fit.
Fireteamfit.com.
There you go, fireteamfit.com. But thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you on Thursday. We got another great show lined up for you. Thanks again, Kenjon, for coming in, and we will see you again soon.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you for having me.
Bye.
Through these doors walk the greatest fighters in the world.